Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to walk you through how you can use the command prompt using AutoHotkey. Command prompt is actually quite useful. It allows you to do a lot of things that you wouldn't normally be able to do otherwise, and you can do fancy things like this, which doesn't really have much meaning. If you're interested in this topic, please continue watching. Alright, welcome back. Let me get out of that. That's driving me crazy. Now, although it looked like it was doing something, it wasn't really doing anything. So let me explain to you. I'll explain this bit later, but what these lines of commands did with command prompt is that this command changed the color of the command prompt to fluorescent green, and this changes the title. And if you provide two ampersand signs, that means you want the command prompt to run this, and then this, and then this, and this is to ping my website. It just pings and receives responses, and that's pretty much it. And then a timeout of 3 seconds, so it does a countdown of 3 seconds, and then exit. Now, and then it moves on to the next command, which does the color change again, title change again, and then change the directory to C drive, and then tree does a recursive look into the folders within the C drive. So it looks through all the files and folders that are saved in the C drive. And let me move on to the more useful stuff. I've got a whole bunch of examples over here. So let me paste it over. Now, if you want to run the command prompt, you can either do this or that. Now, you might be wondering what this is. So let me see what that is by showing that as a message box, and that is just the command prompt in system32 folder. Now if you run the command prompt without having to pass any commands to it, then what you're going to get is just the command prompt. So to pass the commands to the command prompt, what you can do is, for example, you can run this ipconfig command, which gives you the configuration of the IP address and etc. And you normally use either the /c or /k. The difference between the two is that /c carries out the command and then terminates the command prompt. /k carries out the command, but the command prompt stays, so you can see any error messages or the result showing up on the command prompt. So, for example, if I run this, then you're just going to get a flash of the command prompt because it terminates the command prompt after running the command. So you better use the /case in a case like that to see the result showing up in the command prompt like that. Now, if you want to run a program using the command prompt, this is the way to do it. And if you have a program that requires the full path to run using the command prompt, then that's the way you can do it. And you have to wrap, or it's safer to wrap the path to the executable file using the quotation marks. And that is for Chrome, and that is for Internet Explorer. Now, you can also run the command prompt minimize by providing this argument in this parameter. And that's useful if you don't want the command prompt to flash when you run a command like this in the command prompt or using the command prompt, then you get the Excel, but you also saw that flash of command prompt on the screen. And if you don't want that, then you can pass the min argument in this parameter, and in that case you won't see, when you run this line of code, you won't see the command prompt showing up, and that's because your command prompt has launched minimized. For cosmetic purposes, you can use that. Now, if you want to run a program and pass arguments, you can, for example, I've got Internet Explorer that opens up Sydney Morning Herald, and you do that by providing a space before the argument. And if you run that, you will get the Internet Explorer that launches the Sydney Morning Herald website. And this is for running Chrome in incognito mode. And if you need to provide the full path to Chrome or any other programs, this is the way you can do it. And you can pass multiple arguments like that. User data dir allows you to use a different profile and not the default profile when you launch the Google Chrome. And these are the websites that I want to open up when I launch the Chrome. And I think these are the same, so I won't go into these two. And also, if you have reference to paths that have spaces in them, then you need to wrap them in quotation marks. Now, if you have a command that is too long and too complicated, you can use a variable like that to store the command and then pass that variable as you run the command prompt. This is the timer command that I showed you before, and this does a countdown of 5 seconds. You can change this number to change the number of seconds, and make sure that you use the run wait command instead of the run command. And that is important because if I use the run command, then when I run this, the message box will immediately show up before waiting for the countdown to finish. And if you want to pass multiple commands to the command prompt, and I've again shown you this briefly in the beginning of the video, you use the double ampersand signs, and what this will do is it will start Excel, countdown for 5 seconds, and then terminate Excel. So after 5 seconds of launching the Excel, it will kill it, and the command that I use to kill the Excel is this, which is the same as this one, and this will terminate all the instances of Excel. And in order for you to find out the executable file name that you want to terminate, you can use the Windows Spy. So for example, Microsoft Word, you might think that the MS Word can be killed by using word.exe, but that is not the case, and that is because it goes by a different executable file name, which is this. So you have to go task kill FIM and winword.exe in order to terminate Microsoft Word. This is to close all the open folders and restart the Explorer. Restarting the Explorer is required if you want to use this command. And I use this very often because sometimes I would have too many folders open and I just want to close them out immediately. Now this is to shut down my computer, and this is to shut down my computer immediately, which I'm not gonna run obviously, and it restarts as well. Now this one has a timer of 50 seconds and has a custom text showing here, and 3 seconds later it will abort the shutdown scheduling. So if I run this, I'll get the custom text, and then 3 seconds later yes, so it's 3 seconds later the shutdown gets aborted. This is to display the window license information. If you want to extract the Windows key for your Windows, then a product key for your Windows, then this is the command you can use. And this is to show the IP addresses of the devices that are connected on the same network as your current device, so your mobile phones, your laptops and PCs, and etc. And if you want to export the result from running a command prompt, so this allows you to export the result from running a command prompt into a text file. So if I run the task list command, I'll get a list of all the tasks that are running on my PC right now. If I want to export that into a text file, this is the way you do it. You add a arrow symbol and then designate a path where you want to save the export into, and it's going to be saved as a text file in my case. So if I run this, then I will see the text file being created into the folder where the script is saved, and if I open it up, I'll get the same result but exported into the text file. Now if you want to make use of this, for example, you can use the file read command to read the data in the text file, and then for example, you can check whether I've got anti-malware.executable running. So if I run this, then I'll see the message box that says anti-malware is running, because it's running. Otherwise, this does not exist. If I run, if I look for something that doesn't exist, then obviously it's not going to show me any message boxes. All right. And if you want to find a running task alternatively, then this is the command you can use. And I can see that the anti-malware is indeed running. And if you want to append your result into an already existing text file, and this single arrow symbol will overwrite any existing text file that is already in that directory. And therefore, if you want to just append to the existing text file, then you can use double arrow signs, and this command, what it does is it will look into my folder here and print out the files and folders that exist in this folder. And I want to export that into the existing text file. So if I run that and open it up, I'll see the task list and then all the files and folders inside this folder that is appended to the bottom of the text file. Now, if I run a read a text file, this basically reads out and prints out what's included in the text file in the command prompt. And if you want to use a variable to run a command, this is the way you can do it. You can put in a command inside a variable and pass that variable as the argument in your code to run the command prompt. And there is also a way for you to schedule tasks in advance using the command prompt, using the task scheduler in Windows. But that's going to be covered in my next tutorial video because that's a fairly sizable topic. Now, if you want to use command prompt to run an AutoHotkey script, what you can do is, let me go to test script 3 and create a message box. And what you can do is you can change the directory. I think I got a spelling mistake here. Change the directory to the folder and spell out your test. You spell out your script name wrapped in quotation marks if you have a space in the script name. And if you run that, then I get the message box that says hi. And alternatively, you can also, let me just change the directory to, let's say, C drive. You can also provide the full path to the script in one go and wrap that in percentage signs, not percentage signs, quotation marks, and put that into command prompt. Then you can run the script immediately from where you are in the command prompt without having to change the directory. And this goes for any other programs and not just AutoHotkey scripts. So, and also if you ever want to use the AutoHotkey script to run command prompt to run another AutoHotkey script for whatever reason, then you can use this method. Let me just resize this. You can use this method, and what this method will do, let me change this to number 3, is it will run command prompt and pass this variable which contains the path to my AutoHotkey executable. So this will give me, actually I can run this to show you the result of this. Will show you what's stored in this variable, and what's stored in this variable is the path to my AutoHotkey executable, which is a_AutoHotkey path, and then the path to my AutoHotkey script. And each of the paths to the AutoHotkey executable and the AutoHotkey script are wrapped in quotation marks, and the entire thing is again wrapped in the quotation marks. So if I run this, then I will run the command prompt, which will then run my AutoHotkey script to show me this message box. And that's the way you can do it if you ever wanted to, for whatever reason, do that. And this is another way to do the same thing. So if I run this, I will get a message box that tells me the path of the AutoHotkey executable file minus the AutoHotkey executable, so the folder where the AutoHotkey executable is saved in, and then it's going to change the directory to that path and run AutoHotkey executable, passing the I think I haven't changed it to number 3, so I don't know what's in number 2. Oh, also message box hi. So will pass the path to the second script as an argument as it runs the AutoHotkey executable, so I'll get the message box that says hi as well. Right, if you want to pass variables to an AutoHotkey script when you run AutoHotkey script from command prompt, is the way you can do that is by, let me just save this into test script 2. So what this script does is it will show me a splash text for a little while, 1 second, and then it will take in all the arguments that I will be providing using the command prompt as I run the AutoHotkey script, and for each of the arguments it's going to search for the values stored in the argument in the dictionary website. So let me go ahead and run this script by providing the full path to the script. Actually, I have to start with the quotation mark, that, and test script 2, and then I have to go, say for example, hi, hello, and bye. And if I run this, what's going to happen is it's going to run a loop for all the arguments that I have provided, hi, hello, and bye, and then run searches for those words on dictionary.com. So if I run this, I'll get that splash text running command, and then it will give me the result of the meaning of the words that I have provided in dictionary.com. Is there anything else? Nope, I think that's it. Now, when I upload all of this onto my website, I'm going to also include some commands in command prompt that I haven't covered today that may be useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.